It's by Screenside with part two of the Vampiric Victorian build. And I'm not gonna lie, that's like the third time I started this recording and got that name wrong. It was like Victoric Vampirian? No, Vic I don't know. It was pretty bad. But it is Vampiric Victorian. And as hard as that is to say, the interior itself was not hard at all. I had a very easy time furnishing this because the pack content simply goes together so well. I think maybe even coordinates more so than any pack that I've seen before. Maybe that's going a bit of an overstatement, but having played it now, I am absolutely and completely 100% in love with this pack. I have been having so much fun playing vampires. Speaking of which, um, you'll have to excuse my poor vampire there. She wasn't able to go outside because she can't be in the sun. So usually I'll send a sim outside if I have one in the game when I'm building. But she couldn't do that because it was daytime and it would hurt her gentle vampiric skin. So she couldn't do it. And so, please excuse Cecilia there. I'm sure she won't bother you. She's a very nice person. For a vampire. But anyway, yeah, this pack is fantastic. I've been playing it at every possible opportunity. Um, I'm obsessed right now with Cecilia and her. She's a part of a vampire couple that I'm like completely obsessed with. It's insane. I'm having so much fun playing them. Anyway, so if you haven't seen part one, I will link it in the description below. That was when I actually built. This is just the furnishing part. So this is part two. I'll link to part one in case you'd like to watch that first. That'll be in the description below. It was the last video on the channel. So it shouldn't be too difficult to find if you do want to see it after you see this or before you see this or however you decide to do it. But it is there. So yeah, I had an easy time furnishing this because there was so much new content and all the content works together so well, but it did still take a while because this is a very large house. This will sleep a maximum household of 8 Sims as long as two of those Sims are vampires. At least two of them must be vampires because two of the sleeping spots are coffins. And I don't think regular Sims have the opportunity to sleep in a coffin. I haven't actually tested that. Uh, I think that it would give them a pretty decent creeped out moodlet if they did. But yeah, so we've got 6 bedrooms, 2 coffins. I'm actually building the entrance to the crypt at this point, and the crypt, apart from the fact that it's a crypt, it actually turns out really pretty. But that's gonna be a room that I build later. I'm just building the entrance to it right now. So yeah, awesome. Had an awesome time furnishing this. As I mentioned in my last video, I had a family obligation, so I didn't get home until about around 9 o'clock in the evening, and I got straight to working on this build. I built straight through until it was complete, and then started playing the vampire pack, or just like the vampire gameplay and everything, because I'd really only done just a little bit of the gameplay uh, before I started building this, building the exterior of this. And even on the interior, I really hadn't done that much. I don't even know if at this point, no, see, I can't, she definitely was a vampire. I was about to say, I wasn't sure if she'd even been turned yet at this point, but yes, she had turned because she has the little ring around her plumb bob there. But that was, yeah, just basically right after she turned. So I started playing, the actual powering up of her character and, the relationship that she got into and everything. And I'm enjoying it so much. I may very well just have to do a let's play of it. And I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been consistent with doing my Let's Plays, or with like posting videos on that. And so if you're into my Let's Plays and you're like, yeah, you haven't been, and I'm mad at you about it. Uh, I'm so sorry. But I have such a fun storyline going in my head for this character that I want to share it. But I'm also not sure when that's going to happen. I've been talking for the past couple of builds about how I'm excited that my work schedule is changing to something more that's a little bit more easy for me to manage posting videos, and then I found out today it's gonna change again. I could cry. So yeah, I thought I was going to. I have no idea what it's going to be now, so I'm waiting to hear. It's a very frustrating situation. So if if I get the extra time to where I can start doing things more consistently, then a Let's Play is definitely going to probably come out of this. So, I've been playing, this is the house that I've been playing in for several days. The only thing that I would say could be a potential thing that you would want to change about the build is there's no television in this. And that was really, I mean, I didn't find myself missing it. And I don't know, I didn't think of it in this because I don't know, with the Victorian style of it, and the fact that I don't think, like, there's several other houses in Forgotten Hollow that don't have televisions either, because I spent quite a bit of time playing with the Vitor family vampires, which is Caleb and Lilith, and I don't think that their house has TV because I actually added one. And so I don't know, there's just something about the build that I just kind of felt like they would maybe be the type, whoever would be living here wouldn't maybe have a TV. I did put in a computer though because you've got to have a way to like get your fun. But I wanted a more like formal living room. You know, a lot of older houses or Victorian style houses have more of like a formal living room where you visit with company, and they usually traditionally don't have televisions in them. And then you have like a more of like a family room where you would stash the TV. So usually, you know, my grandmother had a formal living room, and so she had a formal living room which was upstairs. You'd actually be able to see this. I built a recreation of my grandma's house, and she had a formal living room upstairs, and then downstairs we had a family room, and that's where the television set was. And we were like, if we were on the formal living room furniture without like a good reason to be there, it was immediately like, why are you on the couch in here? You're getting it messed up. Like, your formal living room was kept like super nice for company and stuff. So yeah, my grandma's house had one of those type of formal living rooms. I always thought that was kind of funny. It was a living room, but we really weren't allowed to be in there. Anyway, so I did use some of the cobwebs and cracks and things, but I didn't go overboard with it, because I don't know. Just because you're a vampire doesn't necessarily mean you want to like live in a creepy, creaky old cobwebby house. So I used a little bit of it. Nothing major. Some cracks in some rooms and some cobwebs. Mostly I put the cobwebs in the outdoor areas, like on the porch and things like that. But I still kept the nice, even the house more nice. You know, not too run down. But just a little bit, just little bits here and there. It's really subtle. Like I'm adding a cobweb here in like the gazebo area. So, and I did add that so that your Sims would be able to fly into the gazebo as a bat and garden with a covered roof. So as long as your Sims, if you haven't been playing the pack and if you're not that familiar with it, as long as your Sims have a covered, like a roof over their heads, then they're fine. They can be out in the daylight unless they, your vampire has the sun resistance power that they get, that you can, it's one of like the rewards that you can get through powering up your vampires. I think one of the absolute coolest things about this pack is the strengths and weaknesses that you can gain. Set up the ability to create really different and interesting vampires. So, with the way that, certain strengths conflict with certain weaknesses and you have to take on weaknesses at times, then that allows you to potentially create like really different vampires with different powers. And oh, yeah, I am so into this pack. I am so happy that I got it. I don't regret it for a minute. I've been having, even if I never play with vampires again, which will not happen, I'm definitely playing with them again, like as soon as I can. Basically, as soon as I'm done finishing this recording, I'm going back to playing. I love it. But yeah, even if I never played it again, just like I played nonstop after I finished playing or finished doing this interior. I Oh, yeah. I mean, this video could have been out sooner, I'm not gonna lie, but I just really could not stop playing. I was having so much fun. Forgive me. But yeah. Oh my gosh. Vampires are all so fun. Oh gosh. So if you are you guys having fun with the pack, for those of you who are playing it, and you feel free to tell me what's going on in your vampire games. I would love to know, really and truly. So, a little bit about what's going on in my game, because I'm obsessed with it and want to talk about it, is Cecilia, who you see downstairs. This is the house that she's been living in, although there are way too many rooms in it for her. She's in a relationship with Caleb Vitor, which is one of the pre-made Sims that came with the Vampires game pack. I did give him like a makeover though, and I've been actually playing his side as well. So I played him and his sister Lilith some as well. So I've ranked all three of those vampires up to like Grandmaster vampires, and just I don't know, like I just really like their little romance that they have going on. They're And what's interesting about Caleb is he has like some of the vampires that came pre-made have some of their strengths and weaknesses already like selected. And so Caleb had the what's the word? So Lilith has vampire family aspiration, and Caleb has the good vampire aspiration, and he's also a cop. So I see him as being like, the sort of like tortured, kind of like Angel, if you ever watched Angel. He's actually, he's almost exactly like Angel, because Angel in his show was a private investigator sort of vampire, and like I don't want to explain the entire plot of Angel, but it was kind of a lot like Angel. And Angel feels guilty about his past as a vampire. For those of you non-Buffy / Angel fans, I should have known that I was going to enjoy this pack a lot more than I wound up liking it, because I love vampire things like Angel, Buffy, True Blood, The Vampire Diaries, the originals. I watch all those. Watched or did watch, depending on whether or not those are finished or not. Like The Vampire Diaries and the originals are still going on, and but Buffy and Angel have been over for a long time. But they're up on Netflix. If you haven't seen them, you definitely should, because they're awesome. So anyway, yeah, Cecilia is dating Caleb, and then I also have been playing Lilith and a couple other vampires. They have like a society where, and so I basically formed a vampire club to help her rank up, because they have to spar with other vampires and get training and things. So, it's really easy if you invite over to the club to have a lot of vampires automatically to spar with, and to train with and everything. So that's what, I've been doing is mainly just working on ranking her up. And but I see her as being possibly like a character in a let's play that I would like to do, but not the main character. So just kind of, if it does come to getting to do a let's play, she would be more of like a I would be more like playing the backstory of it right now, is the idea that I have in my head. I don't know, this might not come to anything. It just depends on what I find out about my future schedule. But I'm really thinking it might have to happen because I'm having a lot of fun with it. But, a lot of you are more interested in the builds, so building is definitely something I'm always going to be doing. Lots of, whether or not Let's Play comes out of builds or not, building something I'm definitely going to be keeping up. And I will definitely be starting another build tonight because I've enjoyed doing the vampiric, spooky, creepy Victorian house, and now I would like to do something a little bit more traditional, using the content with the vampire pack, but in a, brighter, sunnier spot in the world, such as Willow Creek or Windenburg, but with using some of the content from this pack. Because some of the architectural content, like the exterior stuff, like the friezes, having new friezes is huge. What else? New spandrels and columns, things like that. Those are the things that I'd like to be able to do, like a less themed. Like this house is very much themed toward the idea of the pack. Whereas I'd like to do something a little bit more traditional, just using that new content because I really enjoy it and have been loving it so far. So this is the second floor that I'm working on now, as you've been watching as I babbled on about the pack. And this bedroom actually that we're in is building right now is Cecilia's bedroom. So we have sort of a room that's themed more toward like a teen boy, a room that's themed more like a teen girl, a children's room, and a like sort of main adult room here. This is the one that I'm building. So this is where what I kind of consider to be the master bedroom, although there is another very large bedroom on the third floor. So the third floor has another bedroom and a toddler room as well. And I kept the rooms fairly. I mean, I didn't go too overboard. Like, I wasn't planning on specifically making this for a certain character or anything as I was building it. So I wanted to do something versatile, still like a family house. But I sometimes, like, I didn't underclutter it, but I didn't overclutter it either, as far as I see it, because I would rather use items that match. Like, I would rather use fewer items that go than stick items that don't go in just to fill up space. So some of the areas maybe aren't as necessarily cluttered as I might usually do, but I would rather have a little bit less clutter than have something sticking out like a sore thumb, like a big picture of like one of those like jazz singer silhouettes or stuff like that that comes in the base game that doesn't really go with the style in my personal opinion. So that was the some of the decisions that I made in terms of like what stuff went into this. The kitchen is very clean and white, and I did make that decision on purpose because honestly, she never goes in the kitchen because she keeps her plasma packs and plasma fruits, and so she's dealing with her hunger need, or technically her thirst need. Now she doesn't have a hunger need. She's doing it nowhere near the kitchen. So the vampire kitchen would be very uncluttered and barely used and pretty pristine. And so that although it's very functional, I did and always do play test my builds. It's still blah. What's the word I'm looking for? It still works. It's just not necessarily a room that you're going to use a lot of if you're playing vampires. We did move up to the third floor, so there is a third floor bathroom. I use this sort of landing area to put out a pipe organ for your Sims to play and enjoy. I think Cecilia's at level 5 or 6 on the pipe organ now. I'm not 100% sure. That's been taken a backseat, that skill, to her, vampiric training by a mile. But yeah, so she's been working on that skill as well. And then the upstairs bedroom, I imagine being for like a non-vampire character, like somebody who wants to have a place to just sort of get away from like the whole vampire thing, that maybe they're not as into it. So this room has an easel and a piano and a bed, and I did I put in a closet in the back or a vanity? I'm not sure. Actually, I've gone and forgotten what's back there now. But yeah, it's kind of like more of a an escape type bedroom. Oh yeah, I think we've got a computer back here, a computer desk, using the city living desk. Yes. So they are able to spend quite a bit of time with quite a bit of activities and stuff up here. Or if, like I said, the toddler room, this is the room that I'm building right now. So if you have like a caregiver or like a certain sim that just is doing the toddler care, or a butler, maybe you might want to assign the butler to the top floor bedroom, so that they have their own separate space. And this is just a simple little toddler room that I kept in the style of the Victorian house for the most part. So yeah, it's a really nice little toddler room. So there's a potty there. So there's a bathroom where you can do toddler care. And so yeah, if you wanted to have, you know, uh, a room for a sim that was across from the toddler room, you could work it that way. But yeah, I thought it was cute with the little bats and bears and stuff. Uh, Downstairs here we have the crypt. I thought that was what was coming next. And so I built, it's not really technically meant to be necessarily a moat so much as just I wanted a place for the steam, like the fog, to be rising up from the floor. And so I did take out, I put in the moss, but then I wound up taking out later, but I don't know if I took it out on camera or not. It's out of the final thing. I didn't like the way it was sticking through the wall. And I didn't want your Sims to get like stuck in the pool or anything, so I did fence it. And then I liked the way that the tall fence looked. Like initially I was just like, let's just try it. I'm sure it's going to be way too tall. But then I really liked the way that the tall fence looked. So I think the crypt turned out really cute. Oh no, my kitty cat wants to come up. Not right now, buddy. We'll be done in a minute. But yeah, so sorry. But yeah, I like the way that the crypt turned out. So we had uh, two coffins. Yeah, here we go. I used like the mid-range coffins. I didn't go really cheap, but I didn't go really fancy. Um, that way your Sims maybe have uh, something to aspire to or something. I don't know. And then I figured another pipe organ wouldn't be so bad in case your Sims like to spend some time in the crypt, or you have one Sim that likes to be a little bit antisocial. Maybe an antisocial vampire Sim likes to hang out in the crypt like Vlad and play the pipe organ and enjoy that. So yeah, the crypt turned out really cute. And then here in just a minute, I realized we needed a dining room table, so I'm just adding some additional landscaping to the back, just so it doesn't look too bare, and just some more shrubs and things all around the place to give it more personality. But yeah, but then I realized we didn't have like a dining room table, and so I sectioned off the second, like the back half of the living room to make a like a separate dining area. I'm just cleaning up some of the bits and bobs that came off when working on the interior. Sometimes that happens, that an item might disappear from the exterior. Yeah, so this is where I realized I started her working, and she was testing the kitchen. She's cooking some carrot cake right there. And I realized that I wanted some cabinets in the kitchen, and I wanted a dining room area as well. So now we're cutting off part of the living room and adding in a dining area so that your Sims can dine. So usually whenever her club comes over, they will kind of like sit around this table and chit chat, or be out in the backyard sparring. And I just love the animations for the vampire spar. It's so cool. And I really liked to watch Cecilia and Caleb, my couple. I like to watch them spar. There's something really cool about it. I really like it. Anywho, so we're in the screenshots. That was the foyer as you saw. Now this is the living room looking into the dining room area, and the view of the living room looking back. This is another shot from the interior of the dining room and the other side of the dining room. And then we have the conservatory with a bookcase and a chess table, as you can see here, and you can see out into the yard area. This is the kitchen, and you can see like a big crack in the ceiling there in that room. This is the first floor landing area for the first floor. This is what I imagine the quote unquote teen girl vampire bedroom would be. And then we have the more of like the master bedroom type room. This is the child vampire room with that adorable hognose bat toy that I love. Teen vampire boys room. This is the first floor bathroom, and this is the top floor bathroom with the potty, toddler potty. This is the upstairs bedroom. Another shot of that upstairs bedroom. And that'll do it. So take care, you guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any feedback or suggestions, let me know. And let me know what you're thinking of the Vampire Pack. Everybody take care. See ya. Bye.